Dark Winds from AMC begins in 1971 with the scene of a brazen armored truck heist with a helicopter in Gallup, New Mexico that quickly turns into a double homicide. The rogue helicopter flees into a nearby Navajo reservation. The scene dissolves to 3 weeks later, where protagonist of the series, Lieutenant Joe Leaphorn, forces an artifact thief to put what he found back in the Navajo's ancestral ground. In the next scene, an old man goes to a healer to help with the black magic he feels he's fallen victim of. Leaphorn enters the hotel where he finds the blind medicine woman's granddaughter, Anna Atsidy, and the old man's dead bodies. A Navajo man named Jim Chi comes to town to work as deputy for the Navajo police. Sergeant Bernadette Manuelito gives him a hard time when he first arrives.
Nice suit. You look like Pat Boone.
A priest claiming to be the old man that was murdered, Hosteen So's grandson, comes to the police station and tells Leaphorn he's staying at his grandfather's place while he waits for his remains. Jim Chi is really an FBI agent. His boss, Agent Widover, has planted him as deputy using the local murder investigation as a smokescreen for Chi to investigate the armed robbery with the helicopter that was last seen flying into Navajo country. When Leaphorn visits Sao's property, he wanders down to the lake, and it's revealed to the audience that there is in fact a helicopter sitting at the bottom of the lake. Flashbacks reveal that Anna Atsidy was dating Leaphorn's son, Joe Jr., who worked at the Drumco oil site with her father, Guy Atsidy. At a peyote ritual, a friend who had a vision warned Guy not to go to work that day. Guy warned several others, but not Joe Jr., who was killed in an explosion at the site. The owner of the trading post, Lester, heard the man talking about his vision and told Leaphorn. Leaphorn can tell Sao's nearby lake is contaminated and collects a jar to give Chi to analyze in Flagstaff after he gets him to admit he's working for the FBI and convinces him to work as a double agent so he can use the FBI's resources to assist him with the double homicide. Chi has the water from Sao's property tested and confirms Leaphorn's suspicion that the helicopter is sitting at the bottom of Sao's lake. One of the bank robbers, a big scarred Navajo man living in a cave, kidnaps a Mormon family that buys one of their paintings full of heist money. It's also revealed the Navajo priest posing as Sao's grandson is also involved in the heist. 5 months before the armored truck heist, two men walk into BJ Vine's house, the guy who bought the oil well, and introduce themselves as members of the Buffalo Society.
The what society?
We're Dene, Navajo to you white men. We stand for the decolonization and liberation of our lands. We reject your imperialistic, capitalist settlement culture.
The guy with the scars is named Frank Nakai. Leaphorn and Chi figure out that the fake priest's real name is James Sao. Bernadette hears the gunfire coming from Sao's house and runs to help Chi and Leaphorn, who battle it out with Frank on the hill and James in the cabin. Bernadette apprehends Frank, and James gets away on a stolen horse.
My favorite FBI agent.
Thought you said you didn't know him.
And you didn't tell me?
2 weeks before the heist, James and Frank extorted a sleazy car salesman named Devoted Dan to help them launder the dirty money through Wanda's cactus paintings at the trading post. Sally's mother, the hair-collecting witch, uses her curse on Bernadette to break Frank out of jail. Bernadette goes to the witch's house, takes back her hair she's keeping in a jar, and ends up starting her house on fire, breaking all the curses she's casted on her unwitting victims. When Widover comes to the police station, Bernadette asks him to come with to catch the criminals, unaware that he's a dirty cop that is actually connected to James So and the truck heist.
I want in on the next one. What you got planned for that bank in Gallup?
I don't know what you're talking about. Just a righteous community activist.
Well, the grand jury won't think so. See your helicopter pilot? Turns out he's a degenerate. Had boxes of pictures of young boys. So he drops a dime on you. Way I see it, you got two choices. Fed pen, or you cut me in.
So and Frank hear Leaphorn creeping around their hideout, and they shoot at him, then try to smoke him out, but when he drops a bullet in the fire, So gets hit in the leg. Joe reveals himself when Widover enters the scene, not realizing Widover is corrupt.
He had the goods on us. I had to make a deal. You let him in on it? Did it for the cause, brother.
Killing your grandfather for the cause, too.
Widover shoots and kills Frank, then shoots Leaphorn in the arm. Widover takes half the money and Sao takes the other half. Bernadette and Chi catch up with Widover as he's about to blow up the cave. Bernadette helps Leaphorn out of the cave, and he goes looking for Sao. Guy Atsidy hears Widover calling his daughter a whore and shoots him in the chest. Bernadette and Chi drag Widover into the cave and decide to blow it up to hide the evidence of Widover's murder. Leaphorn goes looking for So and gets taken hostage by him. He tries to talk So off the ledge, but So gets emotional and shoots himself in the head. Season 2 opens in monochrome. Leaphorn tells Bernadette he's tired of waiting. Once they're in the trailer, the man they came for shoots it up with a machine gun. The next scene brings the audience 6 days into the past. While Emma Leaphorn gets coffee at the local hospital, a bomb goes off when an old Navajo man gets in his truck, killing the man and injuring Emma.
His name was Emerson Charlie. Recognize the name? Brother was Dylan Charlie. Ran a church on the res, called themselves People of Darkness. Killed a couple years ago in a car accident. The year before he died, he predicted something bad was going to happen out at the Drumco oil well.
Leaphorn finds signs that there was a bomb set in the victim's car. Jim Chi has found work as a private investigator. BJ Vine's wife hires Chi to get a box that was stolen from her husband.
Tomas's father, Emerson, introduced my husband to the People of Darkness. Ben gave them money for a while and then grew disenchanted. I think this is their way of getting back at him.
Chi finds Thomas Charlie. He tells Chi that BJ Vines is People of Darkness and draws him a map of where he hid the box. Chi bumps into Leaphorn on his way out, who is also looking for Thomas Charlie.
Guess I scared him off.
Leaphorn and Chi go out to find BJ Vines' missing box. They find his son's rodeo championship belt buckle smoldering in a fire when they get there. Then the psychotic blonde man shoots Chi, and Leaphorn is able to grab his rifle right before his truck explodes. Leaphorn drags a wounded Jim Chi to the road, and they get a passerby to bring them to the hospital. Joe asks BJ Vines what his son's belt buckle, which he was wearing the day he died, doing in his box. They haven't found the box yet, and Vines claims the buckle was never in it to begin with. Joe goes to his father, who had his job before him, to ask him about the People of Darkness. He tells him to ask his friend's mother. She tells Joe that Dylan Charlie let the white people commercialize their ceremonies and use their sacred medicine for fun, and that the current manifestation of People of Darkness is full of charlatans. Leaphorn and Bernadette go back to the rock formation where Chi got shot the day prior. They find BJ Vines' box, proving the belt buckle was in there before Blonde Man tried to burn it. They find Thomas Charlie with a bullet in his head. Thomas Charlie's boy has the package the blonde guy left on his doorstep. Right before he's about to open it, Leaphorn realizes it's an explosive. Joe calls his dad to help him defuse the bomb.
Last week I saw an astronaut. He was near our house. He looked like that, but with lighter hair. I told my grandpa, and he said to stay away from him, that he was bad, because he blew up that well.
It's the blonde man.
What?
I think he murdered my son.
The blonde guy sneaks into the hospital to murder Chi. Chi's on the phone with Bernadette and spots the guy who shot him posing as a doctor. The killer shoots the security guard, then Chi jumps out of the rafters and maces blonde guy, who jumps out the window. The rogue blonde guy shoots a cop and gets away in a station wagon. He ditches the wagon and takes off through the desert. Episode 4 starts at the same point as Season 2's cold open, where they get in a standoff at the trailer with Mr. Blonde Man. He gets away with their car and flees into the desert. They get into a shootout. He runs out of ammo and the two tribal officers take off after him on foot. Bernadette and Leaphorn have their guns aimed at him. He puts his hands up in surrender, then drops off the cliff into the mist.
This is the man who murdered my son, Bern.
Joe!
Leaphorn wakes up bleeding from the head with a badly injured hand. Leaphorn catches blonde dude slipping. He ties a rope around his neck and leads him around the rugged country with his good arm. The fugitive breaks free from Leaphorn's clutches. He rushes Leaphorn, gaining the upper hand. The blonde guy reaches for Leaphorn's gun and gets kneed in the face. Leaphorn pulls out his gun as Bernadette and Sheriff Cinna pull up on horseback. Leaphorn begs Sheriff Cinna to give him some more time with the blonde guy, because he thinks he can get a confession out of him and prove that he's involved with the Drumco oil explosion. Sheriff Cinna reluctantly agrees. The blonde guy's private investigator says he told him he was hired by a guy named Carl Lebec. Joe calls Lebec's sister, and she informs him that her brother has been dead for 3 years. Guy Atsedy comes to the station and tells Joe that the blonde guy is Lebec, the oil geologist. When Sheriff Cinna transfers blonde guy to county, he manages to escape. The blonde guy shows up at BJ Vines' house and tells him that Leaphorn thinks that they worked together to start the Drumco explosion, but can't prove it. BJ Vines gives him money and a vehicle to escape, but shoots him in the back as he walks away. Leaphorn uncovers BJ Vines' crimes. When it looks like Vines' lawyers are going to get him off the charges, Leaphorn shows up at his house, abducts him, and brings him out to the frozen wilderness to walk through the desert barefoot like Joe's ancestors did on Kit Carson's Long Walk. Bernadette tells Leaphorn she's taking the Border Patrol job. Sally runs away with her baby to go make her own way in the world, and she decides to stick around and help Leaphorn now that Bernadette's leaving.